Welcome back. So there could be a lot of other things we could cover with functions inside Firebase, but I'm going to end it right here. I just want to end it with a small teaser, something that you guys can maybe use to kind of point me if you want some more videos about this area. What I want to show you guys is I went in here as a final thing and created a full REST API. Let's just get rid of the product REST API here for now. No, I'll keep it, it doesn't matter. I just want to show you guys how simple it actually is right here to create a full REST API, and I'll also let this be available. REST API endpoint, there we go. I'll also let this be available for you guys if you want to use the source code, so I'll upload it if you want to use it. But right now what I've done is I've added a new file right here, and that's actually using something called ExpressJS, which is something that you can use for free just like everything else, and it's pretty much just a very simple way to make a REST API on a Node.js server. Now, if you guys didn't know it already, you're actually using Node.js for your setup. Everything that runs on the function setup is using Node.js. You can see that right here by mouse overing, that I can see right now that I'm using version 6. So how can I use that? Well, luckily with Node.js, which is just a JavaScript engine, you can use what's called ExpressJS to make some very, very cool, very, very simple REST APIs, right? So that's pretty amazing. All you have to do is start out by going in and installing Express and installing, in my case, body parser. So let me just try and show you very quickly. Again, remember, I need to go into the functions folder because that's where I want to use this. And inside the functions folder, I'll just run npm install express. I'll do a space and I'll do body parser because I want those two plugins. So I'll do those installations. That was step one. Now that I have those inside my package.json right here, you'll see they're available there and there. Sweet, I can start creating a REST API. Now, how do we do this? Well, luckily, again, notice this is just a startup file for me. I hit this REST API right here. So the startup file is main REST API endpoint. And you'll see all you have to do is pretty much create with the Express function right here, you'll create a main. I'll also have some kind of main route. In my case, it's /API/version1. And then I'll pretty much just go in and explain to the system, if you hit /API/version1/products, goes to the product route. I'll show you that in a second. And then I could add more if I wanted to, like let's say I had another one called contacts or users or something like that. It's very easy for me, I could just do it like this, and then I could add a users route. Don't worry, we'll dive into all of this in another series if that's something you guys would like to check out. And then pretty much what you can do is you can say, whatever I'm getting, I want to pass that. Any JSON I'm getting, I want to convert that into JavaScript objects so I can use them. And the final thing is just exporting the REST API right here, and I'm pretty much done. I need to do one more thing though. If you kind of check this out, you'll see that inside this router right here, I've actually named it REST API right here. Now here's something pretty amazing. If you have something called REST API, this is just a function, right? You can actually go down to your JSON file, the one called Firebase JSON, and you can actually explain, if you have a function called REST API, I want it to be rerouted to /API/version1. If you guys remember, if you look at our hello world, you would have to write server name or domain name /hello world, right? But instead of having to write domain name /REST API now, I can write domain name /API/version1 and then anything in the end. And that will actually redirect me to this specific function right here. And that specific function will now, in this case, if I write /products afterwards, redirect me in here, right? So that's pretty amazing. So instead of going here and I have to write /REST API, I can now write /API/version1/products, and I'll go to this route right here. So what is that route about? Well, that's actually where Express starts to shine. So this is how easy it is to create an application with Express. You have to just add the name. Again, I have a new app right here called calling Express again, and I'll just have to say get to kind of do a get request, post to do a post request, patch and delete. Look at how simple these guys are, right? Very simple. I'll get a request response just like we had before. If I want parameters, I can get those by saying request.params and then the name of the parameter I want to get. In this case, it could be a product ID. It could also be the product ID when I want to patch or update or delete. If I want to add an update right here, I can just, instead of patch, also do a put. It's so simple to work with. So this is how simple it is. Now I can make a full-featured REST API with all the full CRUD functionality I wanted to. I could also say I don't want to read stuff, so I'll just remove those. Right now I don't have read functionality. You have so much power. And when we start talking about security, you can do even more crazy things. Let's keep this for now. Let's try and deploy this and let's see what actually happened. So I'll go back and I'll try and do a deploy while I keep talking. and I don't only want to deploy the function, I want to deploy everything. And that's very important because I also want to deploy the information I put in here to explain that I want to reroute that REST function into actually calling this route instead of /REST API. So the application is deployed, and you can see again we got a new access point right here. That's not the one I wanted to look at. There we got a new access point right here. So I'll just try, notice it's called /REST API, but we changed that inside our JSON file, right? Inside this guy, so we don't have to write /REST API anymore. We have to write /API/version1. That's pretty amazing stuff. So let's try and put that in here. I have the route right here, and /API/version1/products. I do a send, and I'll just get back that. There you go. So going back here to the code, you'll see if I go into the REST endpoint right here, you'll see if I send in a GET request with nothing in there, there you goes. And if I go back and I put in an ID right here, I'll just return the ID. Let's just put anything in there. You'll see I get back, got it, and then the name of the ID, just like you see here, put in the product ID. I can get that back by saying request params.product ID, and it says got it, and then that name. So anything I pass in here will come back. So if I put in my name and I do a send, you'll get Lars back right here. There we go. What else can we do? Well, it seems I can do post. Let's just do a post instead. I won't pass any information right now because I've not set that up to this route. There we go. Let's try and send that. You get create a new product, and I could of course pass in the information, and just like before I could say request.body to get that information back and start using it for something. We'll dive into all of this in the series I'll make about this beautiful setup right here. And I could do it with a put, I could do it with a patch. Everything is set up, everything just runs, right? I have a full featured REST API. Now it complains because I need to put in the ID. There we go. So now it should actually return update a new blah blah blah. So full feature REST API running on Firebase. Now what does that mean? That means you have all the features available to create storage, to create authentication, to create anything you want to do. You can also work with FireStore, you can work with real-time database if you want to. Everything that is available inside the Firebase setup, machine learning even, you can start using that now. And you can even make a REST API. You can also decide not to make a REST API, just use the basic functionality and functions with triggers. But it's up to you. There's so many possibilities right here, and I think I'm going to end the function series right here with that small pitch, and then hopefully we'll have time to create a real REST API later on. I'll add all this code so you can go and grab what you need, play around with it. It's all up to you. I might shut down my own Firebase instance right here because I don't want you guys to mess up my entire setup. So that's it for this series. See you next time. Bye!